PWHL last week a little bit and how excited we were for like just it existing. You know what I mean? Like we lose the PHF in the process, which is a bummer, but like they're combining. But I like to see that they're making a big deal. So the signing period started and everybody gets to sign up to 3 players. And
they
so
all did.
Yeah, like players started getting signed. And look, I am a Sarah Nurse mark, and I didn't know who she was prior to last year's NHL. She was on the cover with Zegras. So like I was like, who's this? And like I think it's huge that she's one of the first names. Like she's not going into the draft. She's one of the huge signings. She signs to Toronto, which I guess I'm a Toronto fan. Like we'll
I mean, she is Canadian, so it tracks that she would sign with Toronto, or she could have signed with Montreal or Ottawa, but it makes sense. Toronto makes sense. It's the biggest market. It makes the most sense.
And she's going to be the face of the league, whether she likes it or not. You know what I mean? Like whether she's the best player or not, that's, we'll see that on the ice, but she's going to be the face of the league because she's already been out there. And I love that she's, again, one of the first ones. I love that. I want to see the league lean into that. I like her a lot, and I've seen hardly any of her playing hockey. Like it's all on personality, and it's the one thing that the NHL is like really poor at, getting the personalities of these big stars out there. Hers is already out there. Let's lean right into it and get her places and get the league. Let's have a good start for this league.
Yeah, I mean, she's literally already been on the cover of an NHL game. So, like you said, lean into that. Do something right. I mean, at least, okay, we talked a little bit about, we won't go into a super long conversation because you can listen to last week's episode for that. But as we talked about, if there's some NHL money in the PWHL, lean into that. Like, this woman is a great hockey player who has a personality, and you've already put her on the cover of a NHL game to try to appeal to the masses. We'll call whatever the masses are. So lean into that and really like strike while the iron's hot. If we want to talk about a wrestling term, like if she's white hot, give her the belt, baby. You know what I mean? Like push her to the moon. So I think that's I don't know if that, I think that was like front page. Like she was, I don't know. I should have looked into this a little more. I don't know if she was the very first signing in the league, but she definitely was one of the first signings in the league.
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, we see some other names here. And again, I'm not familiar with the names of the women's game. I will get better at that as the league starts playing. But like,
I do know Hillary Knight of Boston is an Olympic gold medalist.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. So she's won a gold medal. I did look into, so Minnesota's team, they signed, sorry if I'm butchering your last name, Lee Stecklin. She plays defense, and she is a Minnesota native of Roseville, Minnesota. That's around the cities. She played for the Gophers and won a couple national championships. So she's going to be playing for the Minnesota squad. So that's pretty cool to have some Minnesota blood on the team. So yeah, man, I'm getting hyped for this PWHL, man. To be honest, I'm really looking forward to it.
Two other things I wanted to point out, kind of building on your point. I look at the 3 signings in Montreal, and look, I'm not going to even attempt. I'm not good at French, but like there's 2 players with French-based names on Montreal. That's where they should be because Montreal.
Smart. Yeah, if you're gonna push the league,
yeah. So like you want people to go. You might as well have people that are from these cities, or big enough draws. And the other thing I wanted to point out, and Reddit's having a field day with this, is apparently Minnesota's team announced that they're going to be playing at the Excel Center, brother.
Oh, that's awesome!
Right?
Hell yeah! Okay.
I like the bravado. like the one thing about the PHF is they were playing in these smaller arenas, like barely arenas, like these smaller gyms, these, just wherever they could get ice time. And, it is what it is. Like, you need to know where, you need to know who's coming out, right? But these are in some big hockey markets. And if their games are playing on nights where the NHL team is out of town, I can't imagine people not going to these. We may not be looking at, upwards of 10,000, but I don't think it's going to be empty.
As a Minnesota boy, we love our hockey. So, I mean, the high school state tournament sells out the XL Energy Center every single year for high school kids.
Nice.
Right? So, while I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would lean very close to that the Minnesota squad for the PWHL is going to be close to, if not a sellout, for their games, because we Minnesotans, we love our hockeys. So
dude, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. And
again, like I just said, having a homegrown Minnesota woman playing on the Minnesota squad, that's already like, hell yeah, dude. You've already played here in this arena, in this barn, right?
Mm-hmm.
For something at some point, I'm sure. Like, that's pretty dope. So
I think this is I use the term bravado, but like I like the confidence. I like, because it's the one thing I think. So when you obviously these are completely different sports, but you could, the biggest comparison is the WNBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they went into these, and again, this was in the mid 90s, so like times are different. But they went into these NBA arenas, and they're just now getting really good crowds 25 whatever it is years later. But they didn't have a player like a Sarah Nurse to put out there, and they were in NBA markets. They weren't in places that love women's basketball. Like, now they're in Connecticut, which Connecticut is perennially a favorite in college basketball. All that to say, I love the move. I think it's great that they're going to be at Excel, and I love to hear you say that about Minnesota loving hockey like that they're going to be close to sellouts. That's outstanding to hear.
I would slap myself in the face if I was wrong for that. Truly. I just mark it down right here. Honestly. Yeah, for real. Like, if it's not a sellout or close to a sellout for their games, I would be very surprised. Truly. I would be honestly not even surprised. I would be utterly shocked if it wasn't a great crowd to watch them play hockey. I'd be shocked. So one last thing I wanted to touch on, and again, it's still the early part of free agency. Free agency still goes until the 10th of this month of September. And then we talked about it last week. If you want to hear all the other dates, I forget it off the top of my head, but free agency is open for another 3 days. It was interesting to see that only 3 teams signed a goaltender. And I don't know if that's because there's not like in a, what am I trying to say? A huge amount of goaltenders to pick from, or that was just by design where we'll definitely get one, but it's not our most important thing. Does that make sense for the squads? It again, being a goalie myself, I feel like that's pretty important piece to have on a squad. But we've talked about that on this show before too. You don't necessarily need the unstoppable all-star goaltender in your squad. You just need a goalie that's decent and is going to stop the pucks they're supposed to stop. So maybe it's not on the forefront of what the teams are trying to use their money for. I guess that's the other thing. We don't know if there's a cap in the PWHL or anything like that. That was the other thing I was going to say before I just totally railroad you into saying anything else, Captain, was that I tried to research what these players signed for, and I couldn't find anything about what their contracts were. I couldn't find anything about it. So that's a little bit fishy to me. I would like to know. I mean, in NHL, you hear exactly what the contract is. So I'm just curious why that's not out in the open of what these women are being paid, because like we talked about, they should be getting paid. So I'm curious about that, but time will tell. If we I feel like if we still don't see anything by the start of the season, then I'm raising a red flag. Like, hey, there's something wrong here. But let's not talk about any negatives. We're excited for the PWHL.
Very much so, and as a pin, because we're getting some of this information from Sportsnet.ca, and if you make the mistake, do not, as you never should, do not read the comments. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
don't ever read the comments. But one thing I noticed, and I don't know anything about her, but Aaron Frankel is one of the goaltenders that signed to Boston, and I'm wondering if this is another situation. This is a big reach because I don't know anything about her, but the way Aaron is spelled, Aerin, implies maybe from the United Kingdom, or that the British Isles, as it were. And there's Boston's known for an Irish, a big Irish people living there. So population is the word I was looking for.
Population, yeah, that's what we're.
IR smart
things. I went to school once.
Yes. So, again, just to put the finer point on it, to repeat what Joe said, we're excited about the PWHL. So, like, it's great that it made news yet again, 2 weeks in a row for us to be able to talk a little bit more about it.
If anybody listening has contacts or an association with PWHL, we would love to talk to you. We would love to promote the PWHL. We will be shills for the PWHL. Give us a follow at BarnChirpers Pod. Chirp at us so we can get something going. But we would love to rep, to support, and to talk about the PWHL even more than we are already going to. Just throwing that out there.
So, looks like this might be a major penalty.
It's going to be a boarding, hit in the back, 5 minutes plus a 10-minute game misconduct. We're really going to get into it here.
But we got to keep it going because this has been a lot of fun, man. I've really enjoyed doing these questions, even though I'm not putting enough thought maybe into them. But we gotta talk about the Ottawa Senators. I do feel like
we kind of follow a little bit of a pattern, you and I. But I love this segment and talking about these teams and these squads. So, I'm going in cold again today. I didn't really have a whole lot of time to research, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. First thing we talk about is the Ottawa Senators. That sweater, beautiful sweater you're wearing right now. I think it's your go first. I think, Cap. So go for it.
All right. Well, I didn't realize. Look, I hate to start with the goalie question because no,
you don't. We do. We always have a goalie question.
This always happens, but like this is a big question mark for them, right? Like, and I didn't realize how much of a question mark it was until I looked up last year's stats. And last year, Joe, did you know that they had 7 different guys mind the net through the course of the season?
I did not know that. That's almost as many as Vegas.
Yeah, like so Talbot took 36 of the games, Forsberg took 28 of the games, Sogard 19, Hellberg had 1, Ferguson had 2, Mandalise 3, and Marilainen took 2. So they had 7 different netminders last year.
It's rough.
Very much so. But they signed Corpy in the offseason, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
and they lose Talbot. I don't know if Forsberg is still there as the backup, but I'm going to go simple here. So Talbot played in 36 games, 32 starts. So I'm going to go with over and under for Korpisalo, 42 games played.
Oh, I think that's over. I'm going to hammer the over on that one. Corpy and Merzlikis split the net back in Columbus. He came over he got traded in that trade to LA rental. Yeah, I think he's the number one guy in Ottawa. I would speculate wildly that he's the number one guy in Ottawa. He's going to get the majority of the starts. So yeah, I'm going to go with the over. You said 45?
I said 42.
Okay, 42. I'm going to say he's probably going to start 55 games.
I hope that you are right, because I want to agree. Like that's why you bring him in, right? You're hoping to solve your goalie problem. I'm wondering if there's something more here. Are these goalies just going to Ottawa and just because I was Talbot?
Well, I mean, we know Cam Talbot got injured,
right?
So we knew that.
So that's part of why he didn't play as much.
Mm-hmm.
Forsberg got hurt too, I think.
Yeah, Forsberg got hurt. He tore both his groins or something.
So
I mean, that's a pretty common thing for goalies is messing up your groin. So
I wonder if that is just is that something to do with Ottawa specifically, or is that just those guys? So I guess maybe I'm asking an injury question, and I hope not. Like I don't mean to, but I'm with you. Like that's why you bring the guy in. I'm saying I'm going to go with the over as well. I'm going to give 50 as my answer because I feel like that's safe. But he's the guy. Like he has to be, and hopefully for them, he doesn't get hurt.
Right. I'm looking at Cap Friendly, and the only goalie that they have listed is Korpisalo.
Oh,
they still have Anton Forsberg on IR, but I feel like I've seen recently that he made a statement that he's ready to go. I feel like I'm not just making that up. But on Cap Friendly, they're only showing Korpisalo as the only goalie. So that's healthy. So, but I would think that Forsberg, because he was out most of the year last year, he should probably be recovered by now.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's Korpisalo and then Forsberg is the backup. So.
Which I think that's a decent situation. Forsberg shouldn't have expected to be 1A. Like he should have been.
No, he's only 30 years old. Like, I mean, of course, Korpisalo is younger actually, but Korpisalo's had a lot more time between the pipes than Forsberg has. So, Korpisalo is the number one guy. You signed him to a big deal. So 6 years, $4 million, or 5 years, $4 million. So. That's a big deal. So number one guy. Number one. Okay. So I'm going to go a little different route in these questions and just simply say, so we know that Ottawa was short of the playoffs last year. We know I had the stat. Hold on. We're just talking here and taking up time, so there's not any dead air. Okay. So Ottawa ended up being, let me look at the conference here. Ottawa was just a couple points out, right? They just missed by, they had 86 points. So they missed by 6 points from getting a wild card spot. Am I still there? Am I still here? Am I here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can.
Okay, just checking. Okay. All right. So Ottawa missed by about 6 points. So this question, I'm going to preface it by saying in this upcoming draft, the 2024 draft, Ottawa has just has 2 first-round picks in 2024. So, Justin, the question is this. Would you rather, in some way, you're going to trade away those 2 first-round picks this year to make the playoffs, and let's say they get to the second round, and then they're going to lose. Obviously, they're going to get bounced in the second round. Okay, but you're losing those. You're trading away those 2 first rounds in 2024. So would you rather trade away those 2 first rounds in 2024 and make the playoffs, but lose in the second round, or you're still going to trade at some point those 2 first-round picks in 2024. You're not going to make the playoffs, but you are moving up. So you're only, instead of missing by 3 spots, you only miss by 1 spot. Does the question make sense?
Yeah.
So in both cases, you're trading away your 2024 2 first-round picks. In the first scenario, you're essentially going for a run and you make it. In the second scenario, you're trying to build the team and you're not going to make the playoffs, but you made a push forward.
So this is why I hate this question. This is like, because in both scenarios, you've moved forward, and in both scenarios,
I got you.
Yeah. In both scenarios, you lose the picks too, which is like how you build the team. But that said, this Senators club is still really young. I think if I'm losing these picks, I want to make the playoffs, because they're young, much like the Devs last year. They need playoff experience, and even well, I guess the Flyers did make the playoffs a couple seasons ago. So I was going to say Giroux. I don't know how much playoff experience he has, but that was a subtle, very subtle Flyers jab.
Well, he's not here to defend himself, so
that's true. But
we would say it to his face too. So like, whatever.
That's also true. Very true. Yeah, I think I want to get these young guns some playoff experience, and they're young. I think they can forego those first round picks. I mean, either scenario, they're losing the picks anyway. But I would rather bring in some hired guns, some hired help to help push us into that second round. So I'm going with scenario A. I'm going losing the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you, because again, that's such big progress forward for such a young squad to win one playoff round and make it into the semis. Like that's awesome experience for for such a young squad in Ottawa. Also, I mean, they have a lot of draft picks, like a lot of draft picks in the next 3 years. For instance, in 2024, in round 4, they have 3 picks, which they could turn around and still end up with a first round pick somewhere. Right? So they have a lot of picks. So they've done well by building this team in this rebuild. So obviously my answer would be that I would totally agree with you. I want to get further into the playoffs for this squad, but just for the sake of a good conversation, I'm going to disagree and say I would rather just move up where you just miss the playoffs, because while we still lose those 2 first-round picks, it is still progress, but that's also going to give a little bit more fire to this young, feisty squad. Like, we did better, and we just missed because this or that. Maybe we could have been better in this area or that area. So I'm going to disagree with you for a good conversation, but really, I mean, I agree with you. But I'm disagreeing by saying I'd rather, if we're that we're going to trade away those 2 first-round picks, and we're going to move forward, but we're still going to miss the playoffs. Light that fire, keep that fire lit for this young squad.
So, with my would you rather here, I'm looking at like the top point getters here. We got Stützle at the top. 78 games played, 39 goals, 51 assists, 90 points. That's nothing to sneeze at, right? Tkachuk played all 82 games, 35 goals, 48 assists, 83 points. Solid. Corey's guy, Claude Giroux, plays all 82 games, 35 goals, 44 assists for 79 points. And here's the point I want to get to. Alex DeBrincat was supposed to be like, they made moves last year, and they brought DeBrincat in thinking he would be, the plug, right? Plays all 82 games, 27 goals, 39 assists for 66 points. He has a minus 31. Wow. So the idea here is that you're plugging in, you bring in Tarasenko, So you're plugging him in and DeBrincat's spot, hopefully DeBrincat's top line. So I don't know at this point if Tarasenko's still top line. But would you rather Tarasenko comes in and matches DeBrincat's output, 66 points, but Claude Giroux shows up, blows up, has his first 100-point season, right? We've talked about this before, right? Mm-hmm. Or would you rather Timmy Stützle takes a step back 90 points, or so he was at 90 points last year. Let's drop him down. We'll drop him down 10 back to 80 points. And Tarasenko comes in and he has the 100-point season.
My gut's going with Tarasenko because, like you always do, we're talking about the money here.
Mm-hmm.
You brought the guy in for a good chunk of change, and Stützle is still a young kid. He's going to be around and on the squad for at least another 6 years, something like that. So he has time to further develop. But Tarasenko, while it was, I forget the deal, 3 or 4 years, wasn't it? Something like that. I forget exactly. But you're spending that money, you brought him in to win now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with, I'd rather see Tarasenko show up and be a superstar that he once was and light this team on fire.
That's exactly it. Because, part of me, I've grown partial to Giroux through Corey and through, we had him in on our Shark squad in NHL 23, but he's 35. To your point, Stützle is only 21. Well, I guess 22 going into this season.
Yeah.
So
he's got so many more years ahead of him.
And obviously you hate to see the slide back, but you paid Tarasenko for a reason. So let's get that money immediately. Let's do it.
And to that same point, maybe think about this scenario, maybe his overall production goes down, but maybe he ends up doing more of the little things that don't get on the score sheet. Maybe he's blocking more shots. Maybe he's winning more faceoffs or whatever, killing more penalties, something like that. Maybe he steps into that role too. Because again, hockey is about role players too. Not everybody can be a superstar. And to my own chirps, I only have a problem when somebody is touted as a superstar and then they never show up. But in this case, like Timmy Stützle, maybe he does more of the little things and steps into that type of role. So Tarasenko can, step into that role as a superstar. Just throwing that out there too. Maybe, we hate to see a loss in production, a backwards move, but maybe it's because of, another scenario, like doing more little things. So I'm good with that too.
He's Stützle only a -3. Obviously you don't want a minus in front of your name, but compared to, as we mentioned, DeBrincat's -31, Batherson's -35.
Golly.
Well, here's one. Giroux is a +4.
Surprising.
So maybe he moves to a +4, +5 as well. Maybe that's where we're losing goals and assists.
Right.
But
you're more of a defensive player.
Yeah. So
I'm here.
All right.
I'm here for it. Okay, well, I think it's only fitting since you're wearing his sweater. Let's give you an over-under for Mr. Brady Tkachuk, the captain of the Ottawa Senators. Justin, he played all 82 games last year. 35 goals, 48 assists, 83 points. Over under, Justin. Brady Tkachuk, 40 goals next year.
This feels like the easy over because he played all 82 last year and got 35. I expect, you bring in, Stützle had 39 last year. So he was on the cusp. Man, oh man. I'm going to go, I want big things for my guy. I'm going to go with the over here. I'm going to go just barely 41. But this team is young. They've got another year under their belt, mostly intact. You lose DeBrincat, but you gain veteran leadership with Tarasenko. I I don't know what those lines look like yet, obviously, but something tells me we're going to get a good year out of Tkachuk. I think we're going to see more assists. I think we're definitely going to see more goals. So I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to go, what did I say, 41?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me go bolder. I'm going to go 44.
Ooh, okay. And I didn't preface this on purpose, but Brady's last seasons go 35 last year, then 30, 17, 21, 22. So he's improved every single year. So I think it's only – and same thing with points too, 83, 67, 36, 44, 45. So he's gotten better every single year. So I have to agree. I feel like 40 is low. I'm going to hammer the over. I think he's going to have a huge increase, especially with a veteran presence like Tarasenko on the squad. I'm going to go 45. I'm going bold.
There you go. One over me. Price is right in me.
Naturally.
Had to be done, I suppose.
Had to be done.
All right. Well, I guess that leaves our Ottawa Senators in the hind.
Yep.
I am excited about their season though. Like that's a team that got on my radar last year, and they underperformed, but like they came in late. So
they essentially they had their own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
They could have, they made a run. They did. They were controlling their own destiny. And, again, it's a young squad. So like young squads falter sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really blame youth. They're just young. So but I'm excited to see what happens this season. They're definitely going to be on my radar to watch. Again, I know the Caps are going to suck. So I need somebody else in the East to watch that isn't Carolina or anybody else. No offense.
Yeah, I get it. But let's reach out to the suck, because now it's time to talk about the Philadelphia Flyers.
If only Corey was here to talk about his crappy team, the Philadelphia Flyers, because they suck so bad. They're going to continue to suck for the next 4 to 5 years. Again, we say this all to his face. You should see the group chat. I'm always telling Corey how much his team sucks. But from the benches, Corey did send some questions that we.
Ooh, do we want to start with his?
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that, and then we can both just answer it real quick. So, first one. He says, team leader in points, over under 70 points.
All right. So looking at last year's numbers, last year's TK was their leading point getter, Joe. 31 goals. 31 goals. Konechny. 31 goals, 30 assists, 61 points as their top point getter. Now, to be fair, he missed 22 games. You want to hammer down and get another laugh?
Yes, please.
Number 2 point getter for your Philadelphia Flyers.
Not mine.
Yeah, I know. 81 games played, Joe. 18 goals, 36 assists, 54 points. Hollywood Kevin Hayes.
Wow. Okay.
But so 70 points.
Over under 70 points for I'm saying under, just because I'm continuing to chirp the Flyers. I mean, they didn't get better.
I agree.
So, I mean, obviously Garney is my guy from the Caps. I love him, but he's not a point scorer. He's a bruiser. You know what I mean? He's a guy that's going to get under your skin. I mean, I like Owen Tippett, but he's not a superstar goal scorer. He's not even like a decent goal scorer. He's every once in a while. Like they don't have anybody to score goals. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I'm going with the under. So I'm going to say 66 points. top scorer, 66.
My heart.
Actually, I'm sorry. 59. 59
Oh my God.
They're going to be terrible this year, worse than last year.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with like everything you're saying, but I'm going to give a benefit of the doubt here and go with the over barely. 70 points. TK missed 22 games last year. I like to think that there's 9 points in those 22 games, right? Like that's much less than a point a game. He scored 31 goals. You know, there's a couple goals there, a couple assists. All your points, I think, are super duper valid. I don't disagree with any of them. I do think they are going to be much worse this year, unfortunately for Corey. But I gotta believe he doesn't miss 22 games and there's at least 9 points. There has to be, right? Like, so I'm gonna go with the just barely over. 71 points probably for TK. And Corey's answer, actually, he agrees with you, under 70 points. TK led the team with 61 last year. Atkinson's health is a question mark.
Yeah, so even Corey knows that his team sucks.
Yeah, it's just 22 games. Like there's 9 points in 22 games, right? There has to be.
I mean, you would think so, even if you only scored every other game, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we'll see what happens. To go in the order that we normally do, I'll ask you first. This is Corey's question. Would you rather trade Travis Konechny or Carter Hart?
This one's tough because Corey and I have had the conversation over, you know, mostly on Gear Freaks when we're playing NHL 23. Our big favorite was Carter Hart going to Ottawa in the offseason because it seems like they should unload the guy. Sure. I think I'm staying with Hart because you've got another goaltender who's like the same age, right? Yeah, Urson's 23, so like, and he only took 12 of the games last year. And you're gonna stink. You know what I mean? Like, it's bad enough these last 2 seasons for Hart. Like he's just getting shellacked, and he's gotten no help. And he's a quality tendy and should be somewhere else. Like he really should be. I know you if you have a good tender,
even though he wears a Flyers sweater, I'm going to give him a little bit of flowers. Like, so he was 22, 23, and 10. So basically 22 and 33. But yet he still had a pretty decent goals against average, 294 and a 907 save percentage. Like on a crappy team, that's actually pretty decent numbers.
Yeah, and I mean, this is we bring him up every week. This is John Gibson territory, right? Like, let's not do this to the guy. Let's not make him suffer through, as you keep mentioning, 3 is the minimum, or 3's the minimum it's going to take to turn this team around. 3 seasons. I think it's more like you keep saying 5. It's probably about 5 seasons. So you're talking about he's going to be 29 and sure, still young, but that's 5 probably really bad seasons of hockey where like he's the only thing going. Whereas, Konechny can just get out on the ice, score some goals, and hopefully for them more than 31 next year. But
right.
I feel like you rather have somebody who's gonna be exciting than somebody who can only do so much to win you games, right? Like he's only human after all. So all that to say, I'd rather keep Konechny and deal off Carter Hart.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to add to that. Like, you could get some assets still for Carter Hart. And I would rather continue to ruin this young goalie's mindset, career by keeping him on a crappy team. Like, again, you're rebuilding, go full rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's, I'm going with that too. So, Corey also says, what's that?
I was just going to say exactly what you're about to say. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Corey said, hate to say it, trade Hart. Great, but change of scenery. Got promising goalie prospects. Team needs scorers. TK is only 26. Going to need a leader for whoever these guys are, even though he keeps talking about Michkov and Gauthier era, even though neither of them ever want to play on the Philadelphia Flyers, Corey. So, literally the one guy, Gauthier, said, nah, I'd rather play in the AHL. He didn't want to even come to camp. So,
wow.
And I know that because that came out, that this cutter, Gauthier, didn't want to go to camp. So he doesn't want to play for the Flyers, Corey. And Michkov just wants to play in the KHL still for another 5 years. He's not coming over. Anyway, moving on. After that, I wish he was here so I could chirp him right now to his face. Okay, the last one, over under Cam Atkinson, 41 games played. I was trying to find a stat. I couldn't find even any stats how many games he played for the Flyers in 22-23. It doesn't even show. Was he injured all year? He must have been.
He must have been, because I don't see
the last stat on NHL.com is for 21-22 for the Flyers. There isn't even a stat for 22-23. So he must have been injured all year.
Yeah, I'm looking at hockeyreference.com and I don't see him anywhere on this. So I think he. Oh shit. Yes, don't worry.
We lost the pod. So I'm guessing that he was injured. So is he going to slot back into the lineup? I guess
that's the question. Is he slotting back in, and is he going to play half the season? That's a tough question.
Because it turned out that Atkinson had a herniated disc in his C6, C7 vertebrae. An injury similar to what Joel Farabee dealt with over the summer, which required surgery, but the path to recovery wasn't straightforward. Atkinson said he had a few misdiagnoses and heard conflicting information from doctors. So go ahead if you have something.
I guess to answer the question, and this is the information I need. I'm going to go with the under, clearly. I hope it's not like super under. I hope he does get to see the ice. But I'm going to go with under half the season.
He underwent neck surgery December 21st, 2022. So having had neck surgery myself, that was, April. And I mean, I definitely came back to wrestling way too early, but that was 9 months. So neck surgeries are usually like a year. So I'm also going to go with the under. I'm going to say 22 games.
Okay. I'll go positive. I don't know if I want to go positive because neck is not something you want to mess with. I'll go just above you. I'll go 25 games. He's going to be on the ice for 25 games next year.
Corey also said under and some other stuff, but I don't care. I'm not going to read it because Philadelphia Flyers suck. Love you so much, buddy. You can talk about the Flyers whenever you come back on the podcast. So anyway, I think that wraps up the Philadelphia Flyers, unless you want to talk about them.
What's there to talk about? I saw something about Torts being on the hot seat, and he's probably like, "Yes, please."
I saw that too. That's from. You know what? I don't even want to say because I know exactly the Instagram page, and I don't even want to shout them out because whoever posts some of their stuff is quite an idiot. Seriously, an idiot. I don't think Torts is at all on the hot seat for any reason. They just signed him last year to an extension, or not an extension, to to be the coach. Like, they're going to keep him around through this rebuild, and then they'll probably get rid of him and bring in another coach once he has established the system in Philadelphia. And then they're going to go with that new coach to take the team to the next level. He's not in the hot seat by any means because he's a dick. They knew he was a dick when they signed him to come in. That's why they signed him. Like, we need a complete a-hole to come in here and try to run this squad while we figure things out. So he's not in the hot seat, not by any means.
Well, a team that you could say pretty much the entire office and all the players were on the hot seat last year for missing the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Penguins, Joe. Big changes out in Pittsburgh. Like I mentioned, the day after the season, they just canned everybody and started over. You love to see it.
You got old boy from Toronto coming in as he came in as the president of hockey operations, and now he's the general manager again, Kyle Dubas.
Yeah.
But I did actually just see a headline that they just hired the Sharks' old GM, Wilson. I think his last name Wilson. I forget right off the top of my head. Doug Wilson, as the actual GM. So I don't know if he's going to be actually taking over or what, but I mean, they brought in Erik Karlsson. They brought in, they signed Tristan Jarry. They brought in Alex Nedeljkovic. We love Ned. I do anyway. They brought in Lars Eller, depth guy. They brought in Riley Smith from the Vegas Golden Knights. They brought in who else did they bring in? They brought in somebody else too.
They brought in Ryan Graves.
There you go. Yeah, Ryan Graves. Yeah, your guy. So like they essentially are setting up, assuming or like playing into still being in the window. But the window is still open that they can make a run. And I mean, truly, they could. They very well could.
So I'm going to get right into it then. Last year, they were 40, 31, and 11, 91 points. They finished 5th in the Metro, Joe. Over or under 5th in the Metro for the Pittsburgh Penguins next season.
You say 5th?
5th.
So that's tough because I really like your boys, what they did this offseason. Carolina is still Carolina. I do think that Pittsburgh got – okay. I know Pittsburgh got better than the Islanders did this offseason so far. Yeah. And I believe Pittsburgh got better than New York did this offseason as well. So I'm going to go over, and I'm going to say 4th.
Dang, you took it right out of my face. You took it right out of my face.
Yeah, I think the Isles moved down out of contention, and I think essentially I think Pittsburgh takes over the Isles slot. So even though I said that I think Pittsburgh got better than New York did this offseason, I don't know if it was enough truly to gain 10, 16 points. That's a lot. I do think they got better, but we talked about last week. I think I put New York at 98 points over under last week. I think I said New York Rangers 98 points. That still puts Pittsburgh less than that. So I think Pittsburgh just takes out the Islanders and switches spots.
You said everything I wanted to say, so the only thing I'll tag on is I'm going to disagree, just because.
Yes, do it.
Just for contention. I love the fact that they said, "Oh, we missed the playoffs. All right, that's unacceptable. We're going to make moves. We're going to do things. No one's safe. Let's do the thing. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again." while I agree that I don't think that the Rangers or the Islanders got any better, and the Pens did. I just don't know that it's enough. I think, again, to your point, I think the Rangers are definitely ahead of them, and I feel something tells me that the Islanders somehow figure out a way to stay ahead of them. So I'm going to say that. God, I guess we can't do push, can we? Because that, to me, that's where they're at. They're going to be fifth again. But I guess to be contrarian, I have to take the under. So they're going to be in sixth next year. They made the moves and they're not going to get it done.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with that because I don't like the Pens anyway. So
don't.
They also brought in, I forgot, our boy from Buffalo, Vinny Hinostroza.
Oh,
brought him in too. He signed with Pittsburgh, and Noel Acciari from Toronto. So they got dudes. They got dudes. Okay, Justin. So Erik Karlsson question. Would you rather Erik Karlsson has another 100-point season, Penguins miss the playoffs for the second year in a row, or Erik Karlsson goes back to his normal average points, 65, 70-ish, we'll say. You get the wild card slot, but you lose in the first round.
Well, I almost always go with the money, as you know, which is why you asked this. Yes, but I'm taking the playoffs because that's why you made the move. That's why you canned the people that you can. It was unacceptable that you missed the playoffs once in, what was it, 16 years?
16 years.
Yeah. So obviously it sucks to take the L in the first round, but at this point that it means you made all the right moves. So yeah, give me the playoffs and give me a normal EK.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's hard to argue with that. Really hard to argue because the only year that they missed in Crosby's career was his rookie season, and they've made it every other year since then. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. I've already talked about it before. I believe that Erik Karlsson's season was just a fluke, if you will, much like Chris Kreider's monster season that he had 2 seasons ago. Had to get a Rangers chirp in on there because that's what I do. We are at the BarnChirpers spot, by the way. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I have to agree. You got to go with the playoffs. Like if you made all these moves and missed again, I'd hate to see. Nobody would be safe again. Like that would be disastrous for the Pens squad. So, okay, moving on. So this one is real simple, Justin. Last year, Pittsburgh was just under middle of the road in goals for. I want to count this out real quick. So talk amongst yourselves real quick.
Yeah,
you're getting a goals for question though.
261 goals for, 263 goals against last season.
Okay, they were 17th in the league for goals for. So, Justin, with the additions of Erik Karlsson and Lars Eller and Vinny Hinostroza and Noel Acciari, and the window still being open, allegedly, in Pittsburgh, Justin, goals for, over, under 285. So this would be a 13-point increase for goal, or 13-goal increase, and would put them, if according to last year's stats, that would put them in the top top 10 of goals for in the league. They would be in Dallas's spot.
Yeah,
of last year.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I'm gonna go with the under. What was it? 285?
285 is what I said. Yeah.
I think they're gonna get more than the 262. I don't know that it's that much of a leap. I'm gonna give them a flat 270, an extra 8 goals for next year. So yeah, I don't think this offense is in Dallas's category, right? Like,
I don't think so.
maybe I'm overthinking it, but
I don't think so either. I mean, like I said, they brought in guys for sure, but I think all of those cases are more just depth scoring. They're going to get you some goals, but nobody's going to be, getting, tucking 3 or 4 every night type of a thing. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to. I think you'll have some support, but I'm going with the under also. I'm going to go just slightly. I'm going to go 268. So only 6 goal increase for goals for from last year.
Okay, so we're basically in the same realm.
Yes.
All right. So my would you rather, right? So Sid the Kid last year, no longer a kid, 35 years old, Joe. He plays all 82 games, 33 goals, 60 assists for 93 points. Just behind him, Malkin at all 82 games. I mean, you love to see that. 27 goals, 56 assists, 83 points. Respectable. I
don't think Sid's played 82 games in a couple of seasons.
So you love to see it, But you see it on the ice, 93 points. So would you rather those two guys play all 82, you get, similar production, 93 and 83? Or would you rather EK comes over and repeats last year, 100 points, put the teams on the back, but both Crosby and Malkin take giant steps back? Let's take them back to like 80 points each.
Ooh, that's a big drop off. Dang. I'm going with Crosby and Malkin have big seasons like they normally do. I think I'd rather have that than EK have a big season.
Because what does that really mean?
I'd rather have Sid and what does that really mean? Like, are you going to win the cup with bringing EK over? No. Like, is he going to win the cup for you? No. Mm-mm. So, I'm going with Malkin and Crosby having big seasons.
Well, you bring this up a lot of times. You rather have what you know, right? Like, you'd rather have the reliability. Yeah. Like, what has to happen for Crosby and Malkin to take that? I mean, it's only 3 points for Malkin, but it's 13 for Crosby. Like, that means he's probably missing time.
For sure. Or he's missing time. He's injured.
Showing age. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it as proven last year, 100 points for EK last year, and how good were the Sharks?
Yeah, close to last. So is there really, again, is he going to be the catalyst for winning a cup? I mean, maybe if he fits into, a team environment, but if it's just EK, he's not individually going to win a cup. So
nope.
Give me Crosby and Malkin all day.
All right. Can we leave this ick behind? Or
I think that we can. Yeah, I think we can move on. Yep. I think we're good.
the ick.
San Jose Sharks. Over to the Pacific.
Such pretty sweaters.
Such pretty sweaters. And I have to say, on NHL 21, I've been in be a pro mode for 9 seasons on the San Jose Sharks. I won 4 cups the first 4 years, missed the playoffs the next 4 years, and I just finished a new season where we were out of the playoffs, we made a comeback, and we won the Stanley Cup again, hoisted that cup back up again. It's just be a pro. But, hey, I love the Sharks, and I love their sweaters. So here we are in Would You Rather and Over Under. So give it to me. Let's go.
All right. So I don't hate to do this, especially I've only done one goalie question.
I know. It's crazy, right?
My guy, Mackenzie Blackwood, is a Shark this year. I'm going to go with an over-under here. So just for some stats to back this question up, he's played 5 seasons. This will be his 6th seasons. He started in 2018-19, 23 games played, young, right? 1920 he plays 47. In 2021 he plays 35. 21-22 he plays 25. 22-23 he plays 22 games last season for your New Jersey Devils. So 47 being his most games played this season, Joe. Over or under 50 games played for Mackenzie Blackwood?
Well, I feel like he's probably going to be G1, right? Probably.
Who Kakinen? Did they keep Kakinen?
Yeah, Kakinen still is on the roster, so I assume Kakinen's the backup because he's usually been a backup role. So I don't think 50 is out of the question. So because we can't push, I'm going to go over. I'll say 53.
There you go. There you go. I hope so. I love this guy. I really do. I hate that it didn't work out in New Jersey. I think he's a talented kid. He just couldn't stay on the ice, and it's, how long can we give him that opportunity? And again, his contract was coming up, so like you can't re-sign a guy who hasn't been on the ice, right? Like,
right.
We haven't seen enough from him to show that he's going to be the guy to take over for Vanacek. So I'm with you.
Yeah, what are you supposed to do with that?
What are you supposed to do, especially when Schmid looked so good when he goes out there last year, and then Dawes had an okay season the year before when Blackwood was out. So we've got the pipeline covered. But to answer my own question, I'm with you. 47 is his max. I think he sees a good amount of time. I'm going to go just under you. I hate to do it, but over 47. But I'll go with 50. You said 55, right? So I'm going to go 53. 53 games for Mackenzie Blackwood.
53.
Oh, you said 53. Well, then I'm going to go over you. I'm going to go 55.
Yeah, I said 53.
Okay. 55 right. It is.
I don't think it's out of the question. Again, I don't think it's out of the question at all because, he's goalie 1. I'm assuming that, but he has the most, like he's kind of the veteran in this case, so, okay, Justin, your would you rather has to do with guys that have been on the squad for a while and guys that just came in. So similar to, I gave you this question when we talked about the mustard cats last time. So would you rather, do I want to go, okay. Would you rather Logan Couture, and so he's been on the squad forever, Logan Couture, and a new, I don't even know if he is new. To be honest, hold on one second. I should have thought about this a little bit deeper. No, I think he's new. I think he just came over. I'm pretty sure he just came over. Okay, so would you rather Logan Couture, forward, and Kyle Burroughs, defenseman, have a better season? Or would you rather Anthony Duclair, forward, new, and Mark Eduardo Vlasic, defenseman, old, have a better season? I say old like he's been on the squad for a while. So
right.
A old Shark, Logan Couture, and a new defenseman, Kyle Burroughs, have a better season, or new Shark, Anthony Duclair, and Mark Eduardo Vlasic, old Shark, have a better season. And I'm doing this because the Sharks, we don't even know what the Sharks are doing at this point. It's just the easiest kind of question to present. Like, who would you rather have a better season? A new and an old Shark? Which new and old Shark would you rather have a better season?
I want it to happen for Couture, man. So, like, you brought in Duclair. I don't remember the contract off the top of my dome, but Couture, 82 games last year, 27 goals, 40 assists, 67 points. He was, well behind Carlson's 101. I don't know what it is about Couture. I love that guy. Like, I had him a lot in fantasy last year. I think you and I
he's clutch. Points, he puts up goals.
Right. And so like I would love to see him just have, he's still only 33. Like, it's not like he's dried up, but there's not much to look forward to in San Jose next year. So give me a guy like Couture, who's been there, and let's let him have, a really, really great season. So that's my answer, Couture.
Yeah, I mean, again, I hate to have a bad conversation. There's nothing much to talk to, but I agree, because I believe Duclair is only a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before we started doing this segment on the show. I believe that Duclair is going to get flipped somewhere around the deadline for assets, because that's where the Sharks are at right now. So it doesn't really matter if Duclair has a great, like an outstanding season for the Sharks. I feel like he's going to get dealt no matter what. So,
yeah.
So I'd rather see Couture, who essentially, when Carlson got traded, he said, I'm here. I'm here for it. Yeah. So like, he's committed to the Sharks. Why, I don't know. But give him a good season. So then I should have been looking at this while you were talking. Give him a good season, so then when his contract is up, he gets paid.
Yeah, because chances are, as much as he wants,
he's got 4 more years, but he can still get extended.
Yeah. I mean, as much as he wants to stay there, it may not be in the cards. You know what I mean? Like, the team might have to deal him because they might not be able to keep him. I'm going to follow your lead here, but I'm going to, I'm going to put Couture in that as well. So the two names I'm bringing up, would you rather Couture and Thomas Hertl have a great year, right? So they're both centers. I guess Hertl's must be second line because Couture's the captain. Or two of my former guys, in their second or first full season there with the club, Andreas Janssen and Fabian Zetterlund. Would you rather them have like breakout seasons? We must be on a delay.
Okay, we're back.
Delay.
I think I heard the whole thing though. Couture and Hertl have a better season over. I didn't hear I didn't hear your guys though.
Andreas Janssen and Fabian Zetterlund. Young cats.
Okay. Well, I know I'm basically just going back on everything I just said. But I'd like to see the young cats have a big breakout season.
Yep.
Like, again, the Sharks are in a rebuild mode. Like, if 2 new young cats that have come over in this rebuild show up for a big season, that's promising to this club. I think Couture and Hertl having a big season, like, they've been doing that. They've been carrying the Sharks on their back for a long time. So they're kind of expected to do that, I would think. I want to see the young cats show up.
I hate to wholeheartedly agree, but I do, like, on every aspect. And I'd like to tag on this. These are 2 of the guys you got when you dealt off Timo Meier. Right. So it's like you lose a guy like Timo Meier. Let's see what these assets that we picked up from that trade. Let's see what they can do. For and sure. I'd love to see it as, a Devils fan, see my guys play well elsewhere, but I'd also love it for the Sharks. Let's see the kids. Let's see what they can do.
And I mean, to that same point, if the kids are showing up, that's going to motivate the veterans to pick up the slack too. Like, I better get my S together. Like, let's go. So, okay. Is that it? Do I have another question for you? I forget. So I got to give you an over-under? I got to give you an over-under.
Yeah, over-under, yep.
Okay. So let's just go Let's just go. Not necessarily simple, but sort of simple. I'm going to go with, I love this question, and it has to do with goals for and goals against. So this one is going to be a goals against, Justin. San Jose was third worst last year with 321 goals against them. They had a -87 goal differential. Okay. So over under, Justin, the Sharks goals against 300. So they get 21 goals better. They get 21 goals back, basically. Does your guy step in and be the goaltender that they need?
I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go with the, I guess, wait. So if it's 3, so yeah, I guess I want to go with the under. I want to go.
Right. That would be better. Correct.
Right there. Cause I definitely think it's better. I feel like I'm leading too far with my heart. So already
anything is better than James Reimer. Let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying. So what was it last year to how many points?
21.
So 21 goals better. I want to give them an extra 10 on top of that 290 goals against.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I love my guy, man. I want that for him.
Yeah, no, that's I think that's great. Yeah, I'm just
it's not gonna happen.
I don't I feel like he's gonna keep them in some games, but I just don't see like a defense that's gonna be able to. I mean, let's be honest. Carlson wasn't doing anything on defense, so losing him isn't really a big deal. That's not what I'm talking about. But just in general, though, like they didn't get better on defense in this offseason. No. So I feel like I'm gonna say over. I'm not going too crazy though. I'm only gonna say 330. I'm gonna say 330 goals against. I just don't look at that. I don't look at that back end and be like, oh, okay, that's pretty solid. Even for a young team or like a rebuilding team, I don't see like a solid. I don't see a solid back end, Justin. You know what I'm saying?
I actually, yeah. I'm very much leading with my heart when I answer what I answered.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. Truly, I hope I'm surprised by it. I wouldn't even be mad about it. So, I guess we'll see what happens. But the Sharks are another team, much like Ottawa, that intrigues me, where I'm more leaning towards really looking forward to watching some Ottawa games. Mm-hmm. I'm intrigued by seeing how the stats play out with the Sharks because I'm obviously not going to stay up till 10:30 to watch a Sharks game. But
that's right. Yeah.
If they're on the East Coast, I'll check it out. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right.
We're getting there. Let's try to score a goal. Pull that goalie.
Woo-wee. Empty net. Just a couple quick things. What was it? 15 games in the goat head this year for Buffalo.
Oh, I love the goat head so much. It is potentially one of my. It's definitely top 5 of my favorite sweater all time. I love the goat head. And yeah, 15 goat head. They're going to be wearing the goat head. Wow, 15 times this year. They will be wearing the goat head versus Corey's Flyers on November 3rd. They'll be wearing the goat head in April against the Caps. So I don't know. Oh, they'll be wearing the goat head against the Sens in January.
Oh,
so I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. But I love to see it. I love that sweater.
I'm a convert on the goat head, but 15 games seems like a lot.
I feel like it's an in-person thing though, because you weren't sold on the mustard cats either.
That's true too. That's true too. But I'm such a mark for their regular home and aways. Like I love
that blue look too, for sure. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. The other thing to touch on, rumors that Patty Kane wants to follow DeBrincat to Detroit. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'll say this, like, you talk about that, like, oh, Patty Kane is so loyal to his guys. Like, is he though? Because he followed Panarin to New York and now he's gone. Like, okay, is he really that loyal, or does he just want to win another cup? You know what I mean? So
cup chasing for sure.
But to go to Detroit, I mean, yeah, I called Detroit in 3 to 5, and we're going on year 4. They're not, even with Patty Kane, like, they're not about to go on a cup run now.
No.
So I think it's more just to stir some stuff up. I don't really think that's going to happen, truly.
Yeah. I would hate to see it just because I hate Patty Kane. It solidifies their playoff push. It might put them in the playoffs, but I'm with you. I don't think it puts you in the cup or wins you a cup getting Patty Kane for Detroit.
This real quick, another young guy, speaking of Ottawa being a young squad, Jake Sanderson signs 8 years, 8.5 or 8.05 million. So locking another young kid up on the squad for 8 more years. So again, just bright future for Ottawa. Really, truly.
Love to see it.
That's all I really got to say about that. Like, it's just bright future. So looking forward to those Ottawa Senators. The last thing that I thought was interesting, again, I'm not going to give them a shout out because this is only one of sometimes they post good content. So anyway, whatever. But this U24, under 24 Team North America and Team Europe, I thought this was very, very interesting. I'm going to run down North America real quick if you want to run down Europe. Does that sound good?
Sure. Let me bring up the link here.
That's fine. It'll take me a minute to read this. So under 24 Team North America, on the wings, you got your boy, Brady Tkachuk, Matt Boldy. I believe this is Tyler Johnson from Columbus, and Tyler Zegras on the left. On the right, your boy, Mercer, Cole Caulfield, Wyatt Johnson from Dallas, and Seth Jarvis from Carolina. Down the middle, your boy, Jack Hughes, Dylan Cousins, our boy, Matty Benays, and Mason McTavish. On the D-line, back end, Quinn Hughes, Noah Dobson, Owen Power, Evan Bouchard, Ryan Miller, and Bowen Byram. And in the net, Spencer Knight and Devin Levi. That's a pretty dang good North America.
That's stacked.
That's troublesome.
Yeah. On Team Europe, so we got Svechnikov, Stützle, and Raymond. I didn't realize Raymond was from Europe. So
yeah, I didn't realize that either.
You learned something new. Michelli?
Yeah, I think it's Michelli from Hey, Arizona. We talking about Arizona again on the show.
Yeah, it's 2 C's, so Michelli makes sense. Cheidel, Kako, 2 Rangers there on the same line. Ugh. Paterka, Lindell, Reichel from Chicago, Bergeron, maybe 2 G's. I got all the hard names.
Yeah, you did. Well, it's Europe. I'll say this one. Kotkaniemi.
Marchenko on the 4th line. Here's where it gets nuts. Rasmus Dahlin and Moritz Seider, the first line.
That is sick.
That's disgusting, dude. That is gross. Your guy Sandin and Jesper Bachvist's brother. I can't remember his first name. Bachvist on the 2nd line. Faravari that's another cap, man. Look at you. And Romanov from the Isles on the 3rd line, and then Dostal and my guy Kira Schmid, the goalies for Team Europe.
I like Team Europe mostly. The goalie situation though. I don't know why you wouldn't have Shesterkin.
That's true.
I mean, I guess he's Russia, but I mean, same. Whatever. Like, it's that side of the world. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why you'd pick Dostal. I mean, Schmidt I'm good with. We know he's a good goalie, but looking at this, though, I think Team North America wipes the floor with Team Europe.
That North American squad is just disgusting. Like, if that ever got put on ice, I would watch every game.
Disgusting, dude. Disgusting.
That just gross.
Yeah, honestly, like, I'm not really surprised to see Mercer and Jackie Hughes, but I kind of am at the same time. Like, I would have expected one of them, like Hughes. I wasn't expecting Mercer to be on there, though, but I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I love Dawson Mercer. I love Merc Dog. Number 91. Where's the number well?
So next week, we get to talk about the Seattle Kraken. We get to talk about the St. Louis Blues. We get to talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we get to chirp the absolute heck out of Austin Matthews and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I am excited for that. I cannot wait to talk so much S. Please, if you don't tune into any other episode, tune into that one because I'm going to talk so much S on Austin Matthews. We are the BarnChirpers at BarnChirpers Pod. You know the drill. Give us a follow on all streaming platforms, wherever you're listening or watching on the YouTube. Hit the subscribe, wherever that is on your screen, whatever. 5 stars, a review, leave a comment. We would love that. Give a shout out to the ECHL Norfolk Admirals. We look forward to doing some business with them. And without anything else, stick taps and sellies, boys. Clap it up.
Clap her up and end the recording as well.
And